Morning. Good morning. I haven't talked about this in a while, which is this racial adjustment, the demographic shifts that are taking place right now. So white people are going to become a minority. I'm not as excited about it no more. For one thing, just because we have more black people doesn't make life better for blacks. I don't support the criminal politics. I'll just say it. I don't support ultra-left politics. I think that hurts our cause. I think some of the Black Lives Matter stuff actually is bad. And I understand that to a certain extent we have to work with our allies. We have to we have to be reasonable. We have to be reasonable. Like we spoke, people are listening. And I'm looking at what they're doing in Chicago, the violence and all that. And the mayor of Portland said it. You're playing into Trump's hand, you fucking dumbasses. Fighting with police. In Chicago, they fired at police. You know, like all this shit, it does. Now listen, you've spoken, and people have heard you. You've raised your fist, and white people have observed it. Okay, you know, changes are being made. Changes will continue to be made. You know, I always go back to the fact that nobody trusts Trump. Trump doesn't. He imparts no authority among anybody that's not already a Trump supporter. Nobody respects him. Nobody trusts him. Period. And that it's like if I put a firefighter on a fire and he's not trained properly. He's arrogant. He won't listen. You know, it's like the fire is dangerous enough. Fire can kill, guys, but all the bad attributes make the response that much worse. Listen, you got a lot of black folks that do stupid stuff, and you got a lot of black people who are not political. You got a lot of white folks that are. A lot of white folks, they may not be out and loud and proud as I am about certain issues, but you got a lot of white people who just, you know, they recognize certain things. They're just aware of the system. And they could very easily do something if they wanted to. Look, I look at the future as kind of like an apartheid of that. Yeah, you got a lot of blacks and a lot of Mexicans. We don't hold any wealth, and white people still have wealth, and there's violence. And see, now they got robots. I was reading today about this android, this Russian android they had like in New York City, Central Park or something. Now they got androids and drones and stuff. So we could be looking at a Elysium type situation here, you know, where there aren't as much of them, and they're in this entrapment, like with the Nazis. And was it the Mosque pocket, Hoops pocket, and when they got in Stalingrad, that for the Germans being in a pocket, that was the way they wanted to be because they were prepared for that. We could be looking at that. Do you know why I celebrate the readjustment of the demographic shift that's already taking place in certain areas? When I work with white people, I go to customers and all that, and you know, like I dress like this, so I'm wearing to work. I got a safety vest. I got one of my safety vests in the truck. I got a hard hat in the truck. Very rarely wear it. And you have white people at a customer. Some guy that unloads your truck and he's like, with his vest, like he's like telling me basically I should be dressed like that. Dude, I'm dressed to be comfortable in the fucking heat. I do my job, you know, but my point is, I deal with these rednecks that try to dictate reality. And that's the point of this video, is that I'm not celebrating white people dying off. I've never said that. That's never been the point of my message. But when I deal with white people who are so intent on setting the message and setting the tone in discussions and dictating my reality, I kind of, you know what I mean? This idea white people have of what a truck driver should be. This idea that they have of what this is. I'm talking about rednecks, of what this is and what that is. Listen, white man. Fuck your presupposed opinions. Fuck that bullshit. You know, you don't pay my bills. You don't pay my rent. You don't pay my car note. Fuck you and fuck your opinions. I'm serious about that shit. I'm serious about that shit. You know, that's how a lot of other black folks feel about white people. That we don't hate white people, but it's just this notion they put forward, like with rednecks. They have this idea of what society should be, and they put that ahead of everything, and it makes life dangerous. It makes life really dangerous because they go around here with that presupposed notion, and like I said before, sometimes I'm just going to the store to get food. Sometimes I'm just going to work. Everything I do isn't like this political concept behind it. But white people, it is. They have a political concept. They have a rationale about the way they want their society to work, the way they want their world to work. And it is so fucking frustrating to deal with this day in and day out with those kind of people. It is. So I celebrate demographics. I celebrate the fact they're losing power. I celebrate the fact they're dying off. I celebrate it. And I wouldn't celebrate it if it wasn't for the fact they made life so hard for so many people. Peace.